Good evening. Welcome to another edition of African Americans Ain't Africans, the think show that proves without a shadow of a doubt that the so called African American didn't find his way to America in the trunk of a ship. I'm your host, an Indigenous One, and it always makes it better when we're joined by the Accomack Princess, Lisa Cypress. Today, we're going to talk about the identity and what has the community chopped up into so many different pieces, so many different identities that unity eludes us because we're trying to please these certain groups, these certain ideologies that we didn't even come up with. So to talk about that tonight, and we want to hit it and we want to show you some stuff, it's going to blow you away. You know we don't bring no bullshit. Lisa, what you got for us tonight? Your mic is muted.
Well, hey. You going out on Facebook Live too?
Yeah,
We are?
yeah.
Okay,
No,
good.
no. Oh, no. But I did put it. Okay, go ahead.
Can you add it or can we just
Yeah,
stop it?
yeah, yeah. No, we ain't got to stop it. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So anyway, Kayuk everyone. Greetings. Glad to be here. It's been a while. And there's a lot going on and a lot that we need to talk about because we things are building every day. And that's a good thing, but it's also a confusing thing, right? Because every day we got somebody else that pops up that has a whole lot of content, right? And like just more content every day, like just a lot. And that's great because you want more people to wake up, but then what you don't want is the confusion. That's what you don't want. And we got a lot that can make us confused out there. So let's hit that. Now, this whole thing of your identity, right? Where everybody's like, we're trying to encourage people to do the most important thing, which is deal with your family, work on your genealogy, work on your tree. But there is a lot, it is the information is accelerating and moving so quickly that there's so many people that are like, look, I know I'm a Negro and I know I'm indigenous, and that's all I need to know, and that's all I'm doing. And my family is ridiculous. I don't like them. I don't get along with them. And why would I try to convince them of something that they ain't going to listen to me about anyway? And you can't tell them anything anyway. So I'm wasting my breath. So, you know, let me build with the people who want to build. Hey, George, how are you doing? Good to have you here. Thanks for being here. Thank you for being here, April and Shelly from the block. But yeah, so that's the thing. I understand families are difficult and complicated, and it's not easy. It's not easy to build at all. And everybody's not going to understand, and everybody's not going to want to do any work. And most people aren't going to want to do any work. And most people aren't going to want to do anything until you got something to show and prove with it. Tangible, monetary, most likely. But that's the way, that's what we've become, right? That's what we become as a people. But that's not what we have always been as a people. We've not always been this way. We've been the type of people that, you know, we would build together regardless. We would build together and work together and trust each other to direct each other to the right place, to, you know, to direct each other to the right situation, the right job, the right opportunity. We really had a sense of unity in our families, you see, because that's who we used to live by. Now we don't live by family. Like most of us, we don't live by, we used to live with our families. When you look into, if you do genealogy, you look into the census, those people next to you are your kinfolk. They're your cousins. They're your family. So that's how we lived, with family, by family. So we got along and we didn't get along, but we you know what, we tolerated and we built together, and we always had each other's back, because that's the way we survived. That's the way we moved. Now we can live anywhere we want to. I don't gotta live next. I don't want to live over there anymore. I can afford. You can't afford to live where I live. Oh, well, sorry, not sorry. That's the way, that's the way it is. So those of us that can move where we want to, and we have options, and we can pay whatever amount of money for whatever we want up 10 times over, God bless us, right? Whatever, that's no. But what used to be is that it was a we thing. I was talking to a brother today who went and saw his family in Chicago, right? He went to go to a funeral in Chicago this weekend, and visit his son and stuff. And he was saying that, somebody asked how he was, and he was, gave him a picture of how he had rebuilt something on his yard, or fixed a wall, or, retaining wall, whatever. He's proud of it, right? And they were just like hating, like, why did you come here? What are you doing? Why'd you get, they were just hating, right? And I was like, I could tell you that my father, his generation, that's the World War II generation, those people born in the 1920s, 1930s, they were World War II veterans. Those guys, those people, that generation of MLK, those people, we were Indians. We were Indians, because then we used to trust each other, and we used to congratulate each other. My father, man, hey, man, he don't care if you brag about everything in your house and you got to show him everything in your house. He would be like, yeah, man, that's good, man. All right, man. Yeah. Oh, that's fan. That's the way we did with each other. We were always up at each other, right? That's the way we did. And then when my dad got a new car, the whole family got a new car. Not just me, but my cousins, my aunties, my uncles. It was like everybody. We got a new car. Like, it was like Uncle Henry got a new car. We got a new car. It was like everybody got a new car. You know what I mean? That's the energy we had as a people. And I want to communicate that to the community, because that's what we're missing today. We don't have that. Now we get on Facebook and somebody likes our picture. If they don't like it, we feel bitter. I mean, you know what I mean? We pictures, yeah, you like the pictures. Just, man, you can like their picture, but then in person, you've lost the ability to have that like. It's easy to go click like. As for some people, it's hard for them to do that. But it's hard for people to actually congratulate and be happy, like in person, like, girl, you doing it. All right, girl. All right, bro. Okay. Yeah, you go. Because what we felt like was, when you win, I'm winning. If you can win, we all gonna win. We all good. That's how we felt, because that's how we did it. Everybody is coming up. If I'm coming up, everybody's going to come up in some way, maybe a little way, maybe in the fact that I'm going to have cookouts every other weekend or once a month, we all going to eat or something, but you're going to come up in some way. Like, we knew that. You're going to ride in that Cadillac. Come on, we're going to ride in Uncle Henry's Cadillac. Whatever. You know what I mean? That's how we did it. And now it's like, we'd rather deal with a stranger. We rather organize with strangers, because we already agree on something. Like, they have the same level of lifestyle as I do. We all live in the same, like, we got the same big houses. So when we have a party, like, oh, I'm having it, it's not, it's not your ratchet cousins or whatever. It's these baller people that you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. That's what we got going on now.
replacing the cousins and all the people that are close to you.
Right. And so when you want to get something done, you're looking to strangers, but we don't even know. They're not only aren't they your family, but they're not even of your country or your origin. Because, like they say, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, right? So just because they looking like they are us, that don't make them us. And one thing you'll notice about immigrants, whether they be African or European or and they look like us, they have a different energy. They have a different spirit about them, right? They're not going to be as giving. Not that they're not as giving, because I'll tell you, Africans give hard. I mean, not even say that. But what I'm going to say is,
they don't give to you.
They don't give to you. They give to, and they don't even give within the Africa diaspora. They give within their clan, their tribal, clique. They're very cliquish, right? They're very tribal. So they're very specific about who they're going to give to. But when they do give amongst their people, their little clique, they give hard. However, the thing about them is that if it's not about money, a lot of things they're not going to freaking do. They're very much about profit. And Indians, a lot of Indians, like, this is the thing about even hiring an indigenous person. You might get a guy who can do everything. He can do plumbing. He may to work on your house, may do plumbing. He may be able to do carpentry, do a little everything. Ace of, not perfect in everything, but he can do everything, right? And so, or he could be perfect in everything. But this brother, man, you don't know. He might show up late, and like if it's not something that he's interested in doing, he might not want to do. You know what I mean? You'll find a lot of us of us, we are not necessarily money motivated. We may be interested in what we do. Like if because I know a brother that I hired years ago that if the job was interesting, like he had a lot of different things to do in the house, he had attention deficit, like a lot of us do. But he wanted to do a little bit of that and then skip it and go do the painting or do the floor and then do the plumbing. He liked it when there was a lot of variety. If you just had him come put a new door on, he would be bored. Or if you had him just do floor and that's it, he might be bored. But if he had electric to do, plumbing, he got a variety of tasks to do. He liked that. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us are like that. We like to we like to be able to multitask, and we like things that's going to stimulate us in different ways, and we get bored. But it's not that we're not lazy, but we like a variety of stuff. Okay. So, but yeah, so that's the thing. So when you're dealing with an Indian, and he wasn't motivated by money, it wasn't about the money. Now, if he had made enough money, it's hard getting him out of his house because he liked to be with his family. So if he made enough money to meet his needs, you're not going to entice him out of his house by saying, I got a job for you. It ain't going to work. You know what I mean? So that's the difference with us. We have a different, our values, our energy is different. The way what motivates us different. We may love our art. We may love what we do. He loved his work. Like he liked his craft. However, he liked being with his family better. Like he liked being with his woman and his family better. Right. And so you can't go by our motivation. A lot of Europeans are highly money motivated. Like they're highly money motivated. That's the only thing. So they'll come on here and the first thing they try to do is figure out how to abate taxes, how not to pay taxes, right? The first thing some of these Africans are trying to figure out is how they can get away with not paying taxes. They want to not be able to have to pay taxes. And they ain't been here but a year. But yet we sit up there, we try to do everything. They got more tax collection than ads on the Negro radio stations than anything. Have y'all noticed that? How do I pay your optimal, pay your taxes? Go to a country station, go to a rock station, go to a pop station. You will not hear optimal tax relief. Why do Negroes need so much tax relief?
Get me my money.
They want our money, all of it. They don't care if they get any other immigrants' tax money, but they want all of your money, Negro. All of it. Optima tax relief. I want to call them up and say, excuse me, what is the demographics of the people that use your service? Because I guarantee it is indigenous all the way down. I guarantee you. What is that? Do we not notice these things? Huh?
You ain't lying. You ain't lying.
Do we not notice that Optima tax relief be on every urban station in the nation? And why is it that we got so much tax issues? Why is there more tax offices than there are churches now? They're not collecting at the pulpit, they're collecting at the IRS. Oh my gosh, we got to do something. And now we want to be indigenous, right? So let me tell you, on Clubhouse, the bane of my existence, I get kicked off of there more than not. You know how that is. Anyway, no, people don't understand. But anyway, Clubhouse, the only house, because they have different houses, that stays busy today, to date, is a one that talks about we're not from Africa. The black Americans are not from Africa. This house, that house. The other clubhouses only have like 10, 15, maybe 60 people in it. That house has over 200 people in it on a daily. I think for the last 30 days or something like that. So this indigenous thing is hot. It's real hot. Everybody is like I said, they cooking up the information. They are speed learning. They are speed creating. They are talented with their creations. I mean, it's inspiring. It's awesome. It's impressive. But yet, what happens when you speed through things? That's the thing that I'm concerned about. What happens like when you're speeding? You're speeding through. Like, what is being missed?
A whole lot, because those people, they're learning, but they're bringing in the ideology, the religion, blah, blah, blah with them. And it's making it worse.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, this is the thing. So this is the thing. And then the 30-year-olds today, 30, which is like so crazy, because I actually had somebody reach out to me who I used to work with when I was 30, right? And I was like, do you understand that my children are the age that we were when we were working together? And they was like, what? Like, yeah, like my grandchildren are the age that my children were when we worked together, right? That's how fast time flies. But what 30-year-olds don't know is that a lot of them don't even realize that all these Patels, y'all know what I mean when I say Patels, like those Southeast Asians, like your vice president, they were not here in 1980. Do you know we are the second largest number of, I looked up the name Patels. Y'all, I looked up the name Patels. I don't know if y'all want to look up the name Patel, but if you look up the name Patel, You will see. It's not part important to this live on another day maybe. But basically, they are the second. We're the second country, like besides India or so-called Hindustan, really Hindustan, that has that name, that last name, and forebears. If you look it up, so that's the thing. I mean, how is it that in that short a bit of time, like 40 years, that they've usurped this country to the point that we got a VP that's Southeast Asian, to the point that they're so numerous that they're more numerous here than in England, where they've been there since the early 1900s. How is it that we outpace Canada, which they were there before they were here? How is it that we got Nigerians, people from all over Africa and our country who weren't here in 1990? They weren't even here in 1990 like this. But our 30-year-olds don't even know that.
And the 30-year-olds also don't notice that it was their parents who ushered these people into these positions. So like you were just talking about the VP, who was thumping harder than hurting Negroes? Barack Obama. We had a party with that. So like I'm saying, all this stuff we do ourselves. And then we have this arrogant ass attitude when we're totally in the wrong that makes it worse. You can't say nothing, or you'll be in an argument with everybody. And that's what I'm saying. We in all these different breakdown groups and changes of thought, ways of thought, and we're not even thinking about ourselves. That is the indigenous people of America. So when the Africans, so you're seeing all the videos now where the Africans are saying, motherfucker, you saying that we sold our people? You're lying. And so the African American, they are between a rock and a hard place on that, because these Africans, and these are Africans that we don't really hear about all the time. These are Africans that, they're like us over here. What we're doing, you would rarely find this in Africa. But they're saying all the stories that somebody told you, the Africans are saying, no, homie, it didn't go down. Like, I mean, you check out the stuff they putting out, they not too happy with the so-called Pan-African American. So, my thing, and this has been my thing all along. Come on, y'all. I mean, it's not hard. I don't know if it's that we're scared, because that's what it seems like to me. Really? They put that much fright into us? And if it keeps going the way it's going, the way we've been taking it, at least the past 50 years, your children won't have any grandchildren the way it's going. And I'm not saying that for everybody, but a vast amount of people. Just think of what our population would be if abortion was still illegal. Just think about it. I know we don't think about it. The women who got abortions in 1970, in 1990, where are those kids? 2010, where are those kids? That's how you implement genocide. That's how you get rid of races of people in one swoop, while the people are right there standing watching you do it. You get rid of populations when the males and females have no contact. Huh? And who's the ones pushing it? The Negro. I mean, can't even explain themselves. Can't even explain themselves, and so weak. try to tell on you because you telling the truth. That's where we at. That's where we at. So I'm saying I think we better pay attention to what's going on because this country is flooding with immigrants that are going to be, and they're going to place you below them. I know you're trying to integrate and trying to be with other people. All they're going to do is use your muscle like they normally do and kick you to the curb. Any other way it went on, tell me. You have immigrants coming from every corner of the earth to America because the word around the world is the indigenous people of America don't know who they are. It's a miracle over there. Nobody can believe it. But you see, they leave their mama's homeland to come get yours. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take a look at some of the groups that have made it difficult for the indigenous people to find their way back home. Lisa? Your mic.
Absolutely. So yeah, you made a good point with that because it's true. Like, these people are coming and get like gangbusters. And really what I liked about the point you made was that they come in because they can't believe we don't have any claim here. We are not making any claim here. We don't know that we have any claim here. And they're like, it's a free for all. And the fact that they're letting people that look like us come in and just win and give them the keys to the city and the combination to the locks and the daggone stairwell way to heaven, all that. I mean, who wouldn't come? Who wouldn't come and bring their grandma? We ain't going back. Never. It's too good here. Imagine that if we had a place that was so good to us and for us that we would never wanted to come back. That's what they got in our homeland. That's what they have on our property. They got everything given to them so good that they don't ever want to come back home. Forget what they got to go through over there. I'm getting mine over here. You see, even though we sit up there, oh yes, I know we're African American and slavery. Why are we romancing slavery? When what the truth is. The truth is the first slaves were white children. White children were the first ones that were sold in this country in servitude, orphans. And they got lists per county in books that shows you how many white children, the names, the ages that went into all these Virginia counties. And yet they pushed 1619, which is a complete another lie. Because they were negras who were Spanish, definitely Spanish, baptized as Catholic, Christianized Indians that were indentured servants. And these little white, poor European, Caucasian orphans, some of them weren't even orphans. Some people were torn out of their families' homes. They were just poor. Anyway, this is the fact. The fact is, we romance slavery like everything. We put slavery, and he was born in servitude. Booker T. Washington. Was he? Was he? How did his family do okay if he was born as a slave? See, they take being born during the time of slavery and they put everybody as a slave because it was slavery time. But they don't put that title on the Caucasian people who were born in slavery time and were absolutely positively slaves. But anyway, that's one thing. But then we also have to understand when we identify people that there's a difference. When we vibrating and we're looking at people, their energy is different. What they values different from ours. How they look at things. Now we are starting to adopt the same immigrant attitudes that immigrants have. Well, I got mine. You get yours. Where you think you are? Oh, you ain't part of Chicago no more. Go home. What are you doing here? Go back to Texas. You ain't one of us. Really? Really? We do that? I know there's a lot of mean Indians. Don't get me wrong. We got them. A lot of my people are mean. A lot of your people are mean. Is it part of our culture? Possibly. But it's exasperated by the fact that now we also have taken on some characteristics of the immigrants, the Caucasian, the African, all this, the whole world of immigrants have come upon us and we've taken on their characteristics, and it is very detrimental for our culture and for our future. And we have to reverse it. We have to do something to reverse it. So that's what we must do. So that's why we're saying, is your identity hanging on the wrong tree? What is your identity hanging on the wrong tree? What do I mean by that? Well, it's because we don't really fully, first you have to understand who you are. That's like really primary, right? If you understand that who you are and you know that you're indigenous, then it's imperative that you know specifically who you are as an indigenous person, or what combination of nations that you are as an indigenous person, because it makes a difference. And then, but right now we are everything. And the way that the globalist agenda is killing the Indian is by this usual mechanism, divide and conquer. That's the usual mechanism to kill Indians. So on the side with the pink and the yellow, you see the dead tree, right? The dead tree is what we are all building right now. We're building dead trees. We're all focused on building trees, but they're all dead. Dead, dead, dead. You will have nothing to give to your future, to your family, to build upon. Not a thing. There is no life in this tree. There is no future in this tree. This tree dies when you die. It absolutely does. Because everything on this tree is something that is fabricated for the moment. It's momentary. It's for you to feel better about you during this lifetime. I got friends. I got like-minded people. I belong. I'm importante. That kind of stuff. That's what it does. That's what it does for you. Your kids, it does nothing for them. Your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren, it does nothing for the next 7 generations or the next hundreds of years. Our ancestors looked out for us for hundreds of years, but you just don't know it. Because what are your focus? Because they got you focusing on a dead tree. They got you divided on a dead tree. Is that making sense? What you think?
Oh, that makes a hell of a lot of sense, because that's what's happening. We're none of this stuff. And this is just a few of them. And we're into all of these ideas, and like you say, they're all dead. They all have done nothing, but probably for the places they come from. So like when you say Kemet, I'm sure the country of Egypt has benefited greatly from the Negro taking his dollar over there and and hooking them up. I'm sure the Negroes that even went to Morocco, a few of them that is, we're always in somebody else's stuff, never in our own. And like you were saying in the earlier segment, you don't think people from other places see that about us? And then we keep putting this spell, and this is a spell. The use of that word black, because, check out the history of that word. Is not something that you would want to be calling a loved one, somebody that you care about. That's not the term you want to use. And plus, the description doesn't fit. I mean, you would think by now we would get that. That's all we call ourselves. And nobody I'll give you $1 if you show me one person who looks like that. And you can't. So that's where we're stuck. When Lisa, tell them about the living tree.
Well, I mean, I don't think people are ready for the living tree, because a living tree requires that you really are focused on knowing your identity, like really knowing your kinfolk, really knowing, getting to know more than just your kinfolk, but getting to figure out, and based upon knowing them, knowing where your sub tribes are, where your sub tribes and your clans and bands are located, and getting to know those names and studying about your people and their specific history, right? Not just making up a name like Cluckamuck or, you know, you know,
Ruan for
Shangri-La, the Shangri-La Indians. We know, no, you're not just going to make up a name that sounds like a 1950s singing group. No, you're going to actually try to find and research your people and find out the names that are connected to the rivers and the trees and the waters and the plants that are in the area. Those are your real names. You don't got to use a globalist name like, Choctaw or Choctaw or Cherokee or Powhatan. There are specific names. They exist out there in your counties and towns that connect to your particular family folk and their particular communities. And that's how you really are repatriating. That's how you reorganize yourself as a people. But just make believing and calling yourself the Shangri-La Indians of Mississippi is not going to work, because you know why? You're disrespecting your real identity, or saying that you didn't have S's in your daggone country, and your people didn't have pronounced S's, so therefore we're going to change the name. No, that's not real either. Okay, you can't be saying that people didn't. What did you snakes make? What's a growl? There's an R. Okay, growl. That's not international language. When you make a dog makes a growling sound, that's not an international thing. That's a sound which has that sound of an R. So you can say they didn't have a letter R, but they still had the sound of R because people growl and they do. Come on, stop making up weird things and things that are make believe. We have to deal with real identities and not disrespect our ancestors by saying either our ancestors are stupid or making up a weird name that has nothing to do with your lineage and nothing to do with the place your people are from and nothing to do with anything that is actually true. People have been lying enough. We don't need to continue lying. We've been lied to enough. It is our responsibility to bring some truth in and to bring some unity. Look at all these disconnections. Look at all of it. Start naming them. Red pill, blue pill, House of Consciousness, Hebrew Israelites, Moors, Christians, Kemet, Hotep, Egyptian history fans. Oh, there are actually, I forgot to mention that. There's Indians. There are Indians who are Egyptian history fanatics, and they believe Egypt is over here. So that's a whole nother group of Indians that I forgot. So, so you got people, you got the NAACP, you got the Rainbow Coalition, you got Jack and Jill, you got 19 Keys, you got people who are money making motivators who are out there saying you can make money. I can get your credit. I'll fix your life. I'll make you a champion. I'll make you a contender. I don't know. They got that. They got people that are doing the rise of the Moors, the different types of Moors. They got what about those Masons, those Prince Hall Masons? Oh, that's big. How about all the different Greeks, aka Alpha Phi, Alpha, Delta, Sigma, Theta, all this, Phi, Beta, Kappa, something, Zeta, Phi, Omega, all that division. That's how they have us in bondage. That's how we are remaining in bondage. Because even when we come to the realization, hey, we're indigenous, what do? Create more division. That's the pink part. The pink part are the new divisions. That's the Indians that have subdivided themselves into new sects, because it's not enough that the indigenous people are way divided into all these different things. SCLC, BLM, NOI, all that Congress of Black women. It's not enough. We as indigenous people have to divide ourselves further because we don't want to respect nothing together. Because we don't want to build with our own families, so we make up our own make-believe families. It's like gang development, gang affiliations, right? And the indigenous community. That's what it's like. Hey, Denmark, we've been kicked off of YouTube. That's where we've been. Anyway, we're gonna protest against YouTube though. We're gonna get his channel back. Anyway, we need to talk about it. They banned Carrie off of YouTube for life. For life. Like what? Who does that? That's the kind of consciousness we're speaking. We must be telling y'all some things that's real threatening, that we're gonna get kicked off of YouTube for life. That kind of thing. But yeah, for life. We gotta fight. I'm definitely, we're gonna make moves against YouTube on this. They took Carrie off of YouTube for life. So we need to protest against YouTube, the Google corporation, big time. It's outrageous. They show everything that is disgusting on YouTube, and yet they're gonna throw Carrie us on. What do we talk about? We try to wake you up. We're very specific about our details about how you can organize yourself and get yourself together. That may be extremely threatening because we tell you the truth. We tell you exactly how you need to move. And so I guess that's so threatening that the indigenous people are finally getting information that they could actually use to help themselves. So God forbid that the indigenous people of this country, who have been trodden upon and are being trodden upon more today than ever, that God forbid somebody gives us the information that y'all need. Clubhouse, he got kicked off too. I get kicked off of there every time I'm on there, but I think he got so he can't even use his phone off Clubhouse because we were on Clubhouse years ago when they first started Clubhouse, and yeah. But thanks for the suggestion, V. Cooper. Yeah. Clubhouse. Yeah. They
Yeah,
they
it's listen.
they drag me all every time I go into an indigenous room in Clubhouse. They don't want to hear what I have to say ever. Like they don't that spiritual room. Oh, they don't like me. They're very disrespectful. They don't want to hear people that are doing real things. They want to be superstars. See, that's how everybody is this on Clubhouse. They just want to be stars. They don't really want to hear from people that are doing real stuff because they feel like it dims their shine. Everybody's wanting to outshine each other, like as if like their light is eternal, man. Light is everything. You can't outshine. What are you doing? Like that's not even a thing. It's not real. But that's what people are acting like. They're acting like they have a spirit. We as a people are being infected by the immigrant spirit of lack. The immigrants came lacking, and they brought with them a spirit of lack, and it has overtaken the indigenous people. And that we must eradicate that spirit of lack. We have to have an abundance in our hearts and know that there's an abundance for us amongst each other. We got to believe, we got to understand and believe that, you know. But yeah, but
Well,
yeah,
and most of the and why we're banned on these channels is this. They know what we saying is true. They know what we're saying. We're not telling no lies. We're not telling you to get into the pool. We ain't saying no stupid shit. And that's why it's not allowed to be on. They don't want to hear that. You're supposed to be as low as you're supposed to be vibrating at the lowest frequency possible. I know when you guys hear Lisa speak, you start to see things a little different because just the light she's shining on it. You're not supposed to get that. You're supposed to get a whole bunch of people running into Target, tearing up everything. You're supposed to get, you're on the news shooting each other. That's the vibration you're supposed to be vibrating at. And we're just telling you simply, hey, check your family out. Some of the things that you do now, they did back then. You look, pay attention to you. All this other crap that this on this tree, this dead tree, really? FBA ADOS? I mean, I can't believe I can't believe we getting into this stuff. I think it's just marketed to us. I don't believe people are that dumb to be in something like that. Prove me wrong.
and people and these organizations are funded and granted money so that we can stay in these divisions. These people that are on a lot of these platforms, whether it be on YouTube or on Clubhouse, they're also just there to help you spin your wheels, to help you go nowhere fast. Because when someone comes on there like me and I'm like, this is what you can actually do, this is what is actually possible for you. When they try to send me to the goulash, when they try not to hear what I have to say, you got to understand what the motivation of some of these people that are running these houses are. Why these things are being done. And that Clubhouse has the biggest room on Clubhouse is talking about blacks versus blacks not being from Africa. Yet they don't want to really hear from people that are actually doing anything real, that they can tell you, give you the keys to tell you what you can do for yourself. They don't want to hear that.
No.
They don't want to hear that. These things are all run by the globalist society that's trying to make sure that the indigenous people stay in bondage or are gone.
So before I get kicked off of here, because I'm sure I'll say something, we streaming live from our website, AfricanAmericans.com. We're gonna start streaming there every week. We just getting back into the, fold.
Right.
But and this is why we talk about all the time. You got to have your own shit, man. Because all these groups coming over here, they're gonna band up against you. Because now what these little youngsters are doing, and I say youngsters 30 and below, they're starting to see They picking it up like this.
Yeah.
They got it. They
Mm-hmm.
ain't gotta go through the Hebrew Israelite. I'm a more.
No,
They
well, they might. They might. That's the problem. They set those traps for these young people.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So I'll say things that prove it. I'll say things like explain how Africans get over here during a hurricane. That has people thinking. The
Yeah.
average Negro won't think ever, but some of the kids be like, "Damn, I never thought of that." You had hurricane season. Explain the slave trade through hurricane season, and they can't. So the Pan Africans, they're looking real bad right now, real dumb and stupid, real dumb, because now those Africans are questioning them. You know why? Because Africans know African Americans ain't African. You trying to push that dead tree on everybody. It ain't working. So looking, y'all, seriously, you'd really be surprised what you have in your family. And remember this is about the tree. If you look at the tree, you see the trunk. The trunk is plugged into the earth. Everything that comes up through that tree is going through all those leaves. Those leaves are your family. Those leaves are you. Those leaves are your children. Those leaves are your mother and father, your grandmother, uncle, cousin. That's who that is. They're getting all the nutrients from the ground. All those nutrients are going through each and every leaf. You got the same energy pumping through you. And now all these immigrants just coming over, just soaking up your energy. And remember, a lot of times we give it to them, don't we?
Yep, we do. And now, okay, so now we're divided upon ourselves. So now we got NOI indigenous Indians. We got Tatarian history Indians that are fixated with Tataria. What? Why? I don't know, but that exists. We got sovereign citizen Indians. Sovereign citizen. They organize using sovereign citizen methodology to make themselves free from the system, so called. That ain't free. That ain't free. If your grandbaby can't claim your sovereign citizen status automatically, that ain't free. That's not how you do it. That's selfishness. Sovereign citizen selfish. Because you need to be freeing your people. Plural. Peoples.
Peoples.
Hebrew Indians. We got allodial title Indians. We got indigenous societies, new associations, whether it's Waya, Fana, Kusa, and a whole lot more. These are all associations that made up, don't really have a real, can't really fight for anything because they're not a real historical people. And they're a bunch of people that want to be with like-minded folks. And let's not talk about Hemok. Hemok say he got 6,000 nations that he's organized. So that's a whole 6,000 different separate people that have organized themselves. And let me tell you, a lot of these people are nations of like a family of 12, or maybe just two people, or one person, or a man in his family, like that. They're just, or maybe it's just one person nation. I mean, that's what people are doing. We that's not how we win. That's not how we build anything. Moorish indigenous people. Everybody's claiming to be indigenous. Correct your credit. We got correct your credit Indians now. People that used to be talking about correcting your credit and making money are now indigenous experts. People love them. I mean, yeah, when you see somebody that looks like your slick cousin talking about indigenous stuff, that is kind of impressive, but it's also kind of creepy because they're also talking about sovereignty because they got a package for you. I'm sure somewhere behind this indigenous talk, there's a package in there that they want to sell you. So this is what we're up against. We got all of this going on. How do we move forward correctly? Well, when you look at your tree, this is what I'm trying to convey in the tree. That you got, first of all, you got grandparents that great-great-grandparents that were doctors, and you don't know it in the 17 and 1800s. You just don't know because you haven't looked at them. Things that would inspire your children, your grandchildren, and yourself. You got politicians, you got people that was business moguls in your family tree. But the other thing in your family tree that you don't know about is that for all the cousins that you know ain't gonna give a care and ain't gonna do nothing, you got all these kinfolk that you don't know that you're related to, that you haven't begun to know because you haven't reached out to them. But when you repatriate yourself and you gather up all these surnames that you never dealt with before and you never met, that's when you find out, well, I got a CEO cousin over here. I got a carpenter, expert, architect and daggone designer cousin over there. I got somebody who's a media mogul over there. You know, you're going to find out that you've got these distant kinfolk cousins that are amazing, and they get what you get. They know they're indigenous, or when you tell them, they're like, you're right. That's right. It resonates with them immediately. And they're like, let's go. Let's go. Because that's what I've experienced. I have people that I never would have thought would have come along with all different walks of life. Knowledgeable, ready, intelligent, willing. Because I reached out to people I did not know who are my Accomack people. Not just the people that are my cousins. I talk to them. They still in the same place they were 5-6 years ago. All of them haven't mobilized. They you know, just like you know your family, like they ain't gonna do nothing, but you don't know all your family though. You don't know not even a fraction of your family, though. And when you explore the leaves of that tree, you're going to find the goodness in that tree. You got walnuts. You got fruit. You got daggone pecans. You got figs. You got everything in that family tree. Everything, all the nourishment, everything you need to build your community, to build your unity, to build your nation back is already in the world today. They just don't, you're not giving them a space to meet in because you organizing under some fake name that ain't family based. Where do you run to if you have nowhere to run? Where do you gather if you have nothing to gather to? Somebody got to take the initiative of saying, hey, at the family reunion, yo. And not only that, you got to go to family reunions that ain't anything you ever been to anymore, ever before. Like go to a family reunion of that, okay, I see I got Jacksons in my tree. I don't know them, but I see they have a family reunion on Facebook. They have family reunion every summer. Invite yourself to the group. Say, I know that I'm Jackson Ken and I in Mississippi, you know, I'm a Jackson from Jackson. I want to come to a reunion. I'm part of this family. Get to know the people you don't know. That's where your unity comes in. That's where your nation is built. By building back with the people that you don't know. All these names on that tree that, you know, because only by going back past your great grandmother on this tree do you see, I'm a Brick. Oh, I'm a Jackson. Oh, I'm also a McCoy. Oh, I'm this. That's how you go. But these are my family names, so don't. But anyway, but as you go back, that's how you find out these names that you are akin to that you should be reaching out to. And then you're going to be like, wow, man, we've been doing the same thing. I've been knowing about this indigenous thing for a while. Oh, yeah, you too? Oh, yeah, I happen to have a business. I got some land. I've been wanting to get somebody to get, really? I'm trying to get us built back together. Oh, well, I got freaking, 12 acres. You got 12 acres? What? I found out I got cousins that you just don't even, it's amazing. And there's really not enough time today to really just commune with them like you need to. But I found out I have an amazing family of people that I did not know. And I keep finding more all the time. That's the power of building your people back. These people you don't know whether these people are immigrants that you're building these societies with. These are loyal titles and these sovereign citizens. Who the hell are they? These Moorish people are really, some of them are really Moors. Like, they ain't even playing. Their conviction is real because they're actually the pirates that are the Moors genetically. Like, a lot of them are really, really, truly that. You're dealing with people that came here and betrayed your folk, that sent the entire planet to your doorstep to take it away from you. That's what you are communing with. The Indians and the Moorish people are not friends. So you're having some kind of split personality if you think that that's what you are and it's all together and it works out well. It doesn't work well. It doesn't end well. It doesn't make sense. All these things are meant to put you into a division against each other. And that's what's happening. You got people battling each other on the internet. They're battling each other on YouTube. They're battling each other on daggone in rooms. It's on Clubhouse and on different rooms on these different platforms. It doesn't make sense. We cannot let the people that are trying to destroy the Indians win by destroying ourselves.
So if you see those people out there doing that, have them to give us a call and we can talk about what they're talking about and we can smooth it all out. All of them. You name the group, I don't care, and they won't come because they know they're bullshitting you and they know that we smell bullshit as soon as they come in the room. Nothing they say let's pick one on the tree. Let me give you an example of what we mean. Let's take FBA ADOS. What is that? Well, what is that? Where do you go in the court records? Let's say let's not even go back far. Let's go back 1850 to 1900. Who are the FBA people? Who are they? Where'd they live? What was their industry? Was it cotton, tobacco, peaches? Did they live by a river? Like you see the Gullah Geechee or from the Ogeechee River? It takes a lot of us years to figure that out. Well, the Geechees are from Africa. No, the Geechees live along the Ogeechee River, right? Huh? That's the kind of stuff we do. Where are the FBAs in 1900? Ask yourself these questions. Where are the ADOS? Where are they? Where are they? You have none. So now you're grabbing straws. You don't even have nothing to grab on because all this stuff to the right is bullshit. Hotep. What's that? Egyptian Indians? The grand.
Right, because people think that the Indians, they think Egypt is here and they want to. I mean, it's like people want to get fixated on the strangest things, anything but to do the things that's going to set you free. And Demarc, like this is the thing. You don't have to be part of the U.S. corporation. You don't have to be. They don't have to have any jurisdiction over you. We're the shot callers. But if you don't know your shot coders and you don't know how to declare that and really carve that out for you as a person and as a people correctly, then yeah, we're never gonna change our condition. And all these immigrants who have recently taken over our continent are gonna take over our continent. Period.
Because you're not populating to keep up. You're populating to rub yourself out of existence. That's something that we're gonna have to deal with, because they cramming that stuff down your kids' throat.
Well, they're trying to sterilize our children. They're trying to sterilize our children and eliminate our children and and end our lives. And they've already lowered our life expectancy quite a bit with all the toxic stuff they put in our systems and stuff. But this is the thing. We got to realize that we have the ability to turn everything around for not just today, but into the future. They know this. That's why these are very critical times. It is critical that we make those changes in our lives so that we can change the lives going forward. We can do this. It's a real thing. I went on Clubhouse. Do you understand? This guy went into a screaming rat match against me when I said, you know what, we're not under their jurisdiction. That's not true. You're not true. You can't do it. I said, yeah, we have the ability to change a lot of things that are being done to us as the indigenous people that we really are. Oh, that's not, she lied. She lied. I mean, this is the thing. There are a lot of people that are being paid in those rooms. They are agents, and they want you not to know what you need to know to correct your life and to change things and to change the trajectory of the way this daggone country is trying to push things. They're trying to push things into ruination. They're hoping that we change all of a sudden. They were hoping that we got mixed up with all the immigrants that they pushed in here so that we would be African Americans, and we wouldn't even be able to say that we are indigenous anymore because we would be all in love with the Nigerians that came here. Wrong. Didn't happen.
And remember, when you're talking to these people, ask questions. Ask questions that are rooted here. Because like Lisa was saying earlier, we're not the same people. We don't think the same. We don't see things the same way. Ask questions. I don't care who it is. I don't care who. Ask questions, especially these people that are called holy, who are in the eyes of God. Check those people out. Question them. Don't let them fool your children like they fooled your mom and daddy. Okay? Ask questions, because it's some precarious times out there, and I know y'all see it. We can't be walking around here confused, because you're going to be prey for somebody.
Right, because a lot of these things they do, everybody see, they insert quality into the content so that you will be attracted to it, so it's believable, right? They go almost over the edge. This is an NOI mythology. Farrakhan going to act like he is against all the white folks, calling them devils, and he'll go over the edge to make him convincing that he is with the people. But as you see, Chicago is a toilet. Like, they haven't fixed nothing for the brothers in the community. NOIs all over the place in Chicago. What have they done? They've had schools for decades and decades and decades. How has it changed the condition? So you have to understand, these people are being paid to keep the Indians back. They're being paid to keep you back. It's been done before. Look at Booker T. Washington. Booker T. Washington made that agreement, right?
The Atlanta Compromise, wasn't it?
The Atlanta Compromise. Thank you, sir. Oh, knowledgeable one.
Huh.
Yes. The Atlanta, he did. He made that Atlanta he compromised the Negro. It was a new kind of bondage, people said. He promised that the Negro going to be a good worker. And he going to stay focused on the farm and stay focused on working for you and not do nothing to change the way things are. We going to stay, keep the Negro in his place with just the education that's necessary.
That was the Atlanta Compromise.
Yes. Yes.
So that was the civil rights movement before the civil rights movement.
Yes. We have a lineage of people that have undone us and acted like they're for us, by us, and are us, but they're not for us or by us. So recognize it when you see it and avoid it. Avoid it. We got a whole we're gonna be talking about this in more detailed information about how we have our modern day deception, and it's all a remix. It's the same old song, same old folks doing the same old stuff. Is it gonna keep working on you the same old way, or are you about to do something new? It's time. It's time.
Hotep, NOI, Indigenous Indians. What is that?
NOI, the nation of what are they called? The nation of Islam has their own Indians. You know that because they were fighting with two hawks a few years back. And these Indians are right in Atlanta. They have been having a what is it, a conference every summer. I think it's coming up in July next month. For the past 15 or so years, 12 years, I don't know what they say. How long he said he's been doing it. But I mean, it's NOIs, NOI Indians, and they sell everything. They sell, change your credit, fix your life, body scans. They sell, heal you. They'll change your identity. They'll get you, fix your legal issues, get you out of jail card free. I mean, they have a coat of many colors. Okay. And they've got intelligent people all wrapped up in that organization being twisted up. Intelligent young people that are actually spinning their wheels, being caught up in this organization. And you know what? The Caucasian and the Black supremacists are applauding. They're just sitting around in their desks and they're, good job. Give them another grant.
Because I'm starting to become more aware that a lot of most of these cats are immigrants coming trying to blend in.
And by any means necessary, they will keep their place here, especially if that means getting you out the way. By any means necessary. You could tell that they're not you.
Right.
Because, I mean, part of it is just that cold-hearted, just unwillingness to do whatever to you, willing to deceive you, and the disrespect for you. See, this is the thing about Indigenous people. We trust people, and that has been our problem. And it is still our problem. We are trusting people. We always think, what do I say? Why would they do that? If we can't see ourselves doing it, we don't attribute it to others. We don't. We don't think the worst of others. We think that they're as good as us and as good as gold. That's what we think. Until we say, oh, Lord, what they do. That's a doggone shame. But we don't believe. If you tell them, well, why would they do that? Oh.
Even with everything that's happened, history have shown us that it never went the way that you're thinking the way it's going to go. Never.
You have to understand that these divisions already in the indigenous community, we got more divisions of us popping up every day. Okay? Every day. Like I said, he might claim he got 6,000 nations that he put together, and I believe him. And that's a lot of money because he probably charged some $1,000 for each nation. And the nation probably only has one or two people in each nation. So everybody's got their little own nation where they feeling protected from the man, and they not, they Indian non-taxed or whatever they doing, and they feel like they're winning, but they're a nation of one or two or a nation of 12. And nothing's moving forward. And guess what? The globalists are happy with that. Thank you very much, Hemok. Thank you. Thank you very much. Give him a grant. Give him a grant.
That's the way it goes, y'all.
That's the way it goes. You'll see some of you'll see these people are being given grants. They're getting fed by the government for doing what they do to drag you backwards. They're dragging you backwards. They're dragging you backwards on purpose. Don't let that happen, man. This was alive.
Yes, Antoine.
It's alive. Yeah, it's alive. Yeah, it's alive. It's on Facebook and it's on YouTube.
African Americans Ain't African.
And it's on African Americans Ain't African.com. You see it's right on the screen. Live streaming from that channel will occur once or twice every week. So lock it in on that channel. Carrie Davis, Indigenous One, got banned from YouTube for life because of our content, how we keep it real, how we tell you what you need to know, the truth and the real truth and nothing but the truth. So that's a problem.
And so, be on the lookout for these, things are changing rapidly, in communications, cell phones, the way people think, the schools are changing. Everything is changing rapidly. And a lot of these people that are coming here are coming from places that they don't have the same world view as you do. They're thinking another way because they're running away from their place, their places where their mothers are from, where they were born. They're running away, coming into your place, a place that, most of us really don't even care about. We don't look at it like that. We look serious. I talked to a friend. He's like, man, I'm going to Brazil. Okay, passport, bro. I mean, we'll argue you down about the women in Brazil are much better than the sisters here. And then I asked them, well, how come you don't have you one? Then they want to fight. You don't
those questions of yours.
Yeah, I'm like, if you, that's what I'm saying. And see, that's one of the things that I think has us in trouble. We talk all this madness, then when it's time to put up and produce, we have nothing to talk about. Come on. And you see the division. And listen, you got all these immigrants coming over here. You don't think some of them cats are army from other countries?
Oh yeah, they are. Oh yeah. That's a good point. Say that again.
Why do you have African in your presence?
What does that mean?
Antoine Moore. Listen, I'm gonna go ahead and put the link.
Ooh, no, you're not.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
ahead and put the link
Shelly. Nicole.
so you can come on and ask your question.
Oh,
So it can be clear because a lot of times,
that doesn't make sense. Yeah.
yeah, we get confused about what's going on. So there's the link if you want to come in and ask your question because I don't understand the question.
It's being casted in several places. African Americans Ain't African.com. Check out the Indigenous One's website where you can see him stream live several times a week. And he also will be doing short streams, long streams. He'll be streaming from that just to keep the energy going. And
Your
so
live
you
is
will find him.
Yeah, everybody else is picking up the live. Good, Antoine Moore. I put the link in the chat. Please join
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, and you go to African Americans and African.com and you can see the live from there. It'll be fresh, so fresh. Maybe Facebook might be buffering it because Facebook is trying to keep you from the information as well. You know how that works. YouTube also may be buffering because they are blocking true content. This is why you need to go to African Americans Ain't African.com where it is the Indigenous Ones, Carrie Davis's website, and we can be free to say what we want to say without the interference of this these globalist agents.
Because remember, when they cut off the way you think about things, what you say, they're cutting off everything about you. Your whole growth and development is being cut off. When you can't say what you want to say, you notice these movements, these gay and lesbian rights. We should be able to speak, frank with each other instead of all the emotions and all the BS.
Mm-hmm.
But you say one truth. Now you can't talk no more. What is that? And that's what I'm saying. Why do we participate in that type stuff? That's on us.
This is a thing that in 2023 that we need to be keenly aware of, and probably that should be the next build. It's just talking about why are we allowing some of these things that we're allowing? We are creating our own imprisonment. We are creating it. We're manifesting it for ourselves. This does not have to be. We allow this to be. We manufacture this. It's time for us to learn. Where's your power? Use it. We have it. Oh, it's not buffering. He was just saying that because he was trying to flee. He was being scaredy cat. So he didn't want to talk. So he said, "Oh, it's buffering."
Yo,
Well,
and
he's probably an
anybody,
agent anyway.
yeah, and anybody, you can always come to the chat and speak with us because listen, we don't know everything. We not claiming that we do, and we know a lot of you guys. Some of the stuff you may have heard from us, and it clicks in something in you.
Right.
So we're all so it's like the tree. The tree is one example. I like to use ants. Same thing is part of nature, but ants always pass by each other and they always touch each other, which means they're picking it, they're transmitting and giving away information to each other all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the way we should be?
Right.
If you have something to say it. You don't have, you can what? How do you learn if you're not asking questions, if you're not being frank in your conversation? If
Right.
you can't speak to each other, if you blow a gasket every time somebody says something that you don't like, if you can't explain what the hell you talking about, explain what you talking about. That's what I'm saying. You ask people out here telling you things that don't make no sense. It ain't no Umar Johnson. It's your dumb ass for following them. Nothing that comes out this cat's mouth makes sense. Yet But maybe that's one of those grants you're talking about to build a school.
What? What is that? What are you
And
talking about? Are we?
no,
Are you?
no. So you saying a lot of these cats get grants to do
Yes.
what they do?
Yeah, they do. The government gives them grants to do this stuff. They're getting grant
Because
money.
I'm not gonna say indigenous people are not that dumb to do that,
What do
and
you
so
mean?
that may be one of those grants to build a school because they'll
What do
do
you mean?
that type stuff.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I'm coming to your channel, and there's no cutting edge I didn't create first.
What is he talking about?
Maybe he's gonna explain.
He must have. That sounds like he's been snorting something like glue or something. That's not making any sense. It's not
Uh,
good to
yeah.
snorting like that's like snorting glue sentences. Like what? When I'm coming.
Um, like I say, baby,
I don't understand. It's not making sense to me.
and he's gonna come on and make sense for us.
Hmm.
So we'll wait for his. So listen, those dead trees that we were talking about earlier, stay away from them.
Yeah.
The only one that's gonna give life is the ones that gave you life, your folks,
Ding.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go get life from the people who gave you life.
Mm-hmm.
Them your people and all them towns and cities they built and just sitting there waiting for the Negro to be gentrified in all these other places to come back home.
Right.
Huh?
And, and even in the chat, there are some of my Akamat kinfolk that I have, you know, just met because of organizing my people. And like they're amazing. Like amazing people are in my nation, in my family, in my, like they're amazing. You just don't know how many amazing people that are in your family yet. You haven't met them. But come back and get me if I'm lying. I'm telling you it's true. I'm telling you it's true. Because like at first it's just me and I'm like it's just me. And then I'm like, oh, it's more than me. It's two or it's three or four. It grows. And then the next thing you know, you got hundreds of people. And out of the hundreds of people, maybe you got 15 great people. It's just amazing.
It's amazing.
That is amazing. Yeah.
Well, Antoine Moore, we're about to close it out. You didn't come on, so we made the gesture. You didn't come out. I understand. It's probably wise that you didn't. But
Yeah.
you're welcome anytime.
It's best for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lisa, you wanted to close it out?
No, you close it out. This is you.
Listen, thank everybody for sticking with us. We value you because you find some value in us. And all we're trying to do is keep us viable on this planet. Because I know there are those who wish we weren't. And there are those of us, if you look at that chart on that tree on the right, those folks don't wish we were either. Because they want you to be like that tree, bent over, crippled, dead, can barely walk. We ain't going out like that. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight, and we'll see you next time. Peace.